This is Levi Cooper.
Hey, this is Buck Nasty, Bucky Collins.
This is Big Beef.
What's up, bozos? This is Trevor Outlaw, and you're listening.
You're listening to the Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
Sit Down Marks.
And you're listening to the Sit Down Marks podcast with DB, Primo, and AJ.
All right, everyone, welcome to this special edition of Sit Down Marks podcast. The marks are off this week, but I will bring to you some of our best interviews here. Up next, we have Daniel Makabe, followed by Billie Starkz, and finally, our Trevor Outlaw interview. I hope you all enjoy as we take the week off. We will see you next week.
Welcome, everybody, to Sit Down Marks. Man, we got a really fun guest here today on the show. I am super pumped, man. I haven't gotten to see this guy wrestle live since 2019. Primo, man, you excited for Daniel Makabe tonight?
Extremely excited, extremely grateful. Thank you so much, Daniel, for coming on the show. We cannot thank you enough.
No, I mean, thank you guys for inviting me. And, obviously we're all here to talk about big weekend upcoming, and I'm stoked to be along with you guys previewing it and just shooting as it is,
That's right, man. Coming up this weekend is a super huge weekend for wrestling in the Southeast. You're a very popular man in Chattanooga, Tennessee. From when I saw you win the 2019 Cynic City Invitational. So we're going to talk a lot about that night. We're going to talk about what's coming up here. And as this weekend, as you got Adam Priest in the first round, we're going to talk about a possible AC Mack rematch here that could possibly blow the roof off if these guys lock up here again. So, but to get us started, Daniel, I want to talk, man. So how was your quarantine, man? What did you do? How did you stay up on your wrestling, or how locked down were you guys up there in British Columbia?
You know what? I mean, I guess it's felt like a lifetime for all of us, right? But it's really felt like a couple lifetimes up here in BC. So, it was kind of a thing where things were initially not as locked down as they were in the United States. And then it kind of flipped the switch. And when you guys were kind of getting back into the swing of things, we were still under a pretty strong lockdown. So, I had, I was actually in Europe when things all kind of locked down. I was doing some shows over there. And then, so that was in, the second week of March of 2020, came home and then I didn't get to wrestle again until October of 2020.
Wow.
And, I had that one match with Lee Moriarty for Southern Underground Pro in Indiana, which was, that was a big one for me. And then, in the interim, there was some training allowed here in British Columbia. There's a really amazing wrestling school called Lionsgate that I attend. It's run by some great trainers and some great pro wrestlers. And they, to do with provincial laws, they had to shut down on November 2nd of 2020. And they did not open up again until this past June. Like a month ago. So no training here in British Columbia for, what was that? Like 7 months where we not allowed to train. And, like the best of us, I put on the COVID 15 or 20 or whatever we all did. So the last couple months leading up to SCI has really been me working that off and getting back to a weight that I'm comfortable at and getting back to a physical fitness that I'm comfortable at. I had a couple matches this past April in Florida as a part of WrestleMania weekend. And full admission, I wasn't really happy with my performances there. I really wasn't happy with where my fitness was at. Okay. And so I didn't want to make the same mistake twice. So the last 3 months, it's all been about getting back in ring shape and 3 matches in 2 nights at a minimum if you want to win the thing. And that last one's a 4-way. And so, I don't want to be caught, huffing and puffing and sucking wind, against a guy like Adam Priest or
Right.
maybe AC Mack or maybe a rematch with Eric Royal or who knows. Right. So
Sure.
that's kind of been my life, the last 3 months. It's been a lot of, working the 9 to 5 and then going to the gym and trying to, and I'm happy to say that, I'm not someone who posts a lot of gym selfies or anything like that, but in the last couple months, I've lost 20 pounds and,
Nice.
and things are appearing to look good, but we're in the home stretch now. So hopefully things are good this weekend.
Yeah. So this weekend is kind of going to be the pinnacle of you, getting back into wrestling shape and ability, I guess, after the long layoff. And it's crazy that, it's SCI, which you are defending champion. So, not only that of everything that's happened, Daniel, you're coming in with a lot of pressure as defending champ. Nobody's ever repeated winner of this tournament. You've heard this already. I know you have.
I've heard this. No one's ever done it, and I want to be. I want to be the first guy to do it. It is. It's a big ask to come back after a layoff like that and have 3 matches in 2 nights, and not only
different
that,
venue
like
this year too, different venue.
But we'll go into that. I think that venue. I think that plays to my strength. I like the look of that venue. I'm used to. I really made my name for a promotion in Seattle called 3-2-1 Battle that didn't survive the pandemic, is no longer with us.
Oh, I haven't heard that. Oh wow.
For various reasons we don't have to go into. There was
Sure.
some of it is to do with the building, some of it's to do with management. So
sure.
But that was a very intimate building, and that's really where I got a lot of my licks in and really built up my reputation as someone who I think excels in a small room. And I really feed on the energy of people right there in your face, and people who can see, they're right up close and personal. They can see if you make a mistake, but they can also see if you're setting a trap for someone. Maybe they're going to see it before your opponent sees it, So that's something as someone who really excels in technical, my technical ability. I think it really plays well in a room like that. I think it's way more interesting to watch a Daniel Makabe match in a room like that. I think it's more interesting to have a Daniel Makabe match in a room like that.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to it. But first things first, it's not SCI, but to kick things off, TWE the night before, I'm wrestling Damian Tangra. And I'm not that I'm overlooking them, because the big news is SCI, but I'm happy that I get something in to get a repetition and see kind of where I'm at before the next night, Adam Priest, and it's off to the races, right?
Yeah, and that's when the real test begins. So let's talk about you remember I remember you announced on Twitter and possibly some other social medias today you got some new shirts out.
Yes,
and these shirts mimic the shirt that you had on the night that you won the 2019
Absolutely.
So that is really cool, man. I'm loving that. So what's the story real quick of why you wear the football jerseys and
so I mean, like the soccer jerseys, football jerseys, depending where you're from, what you call it, it started as something, I'm not going to mince words. I'm not the most athletic looking guy. I'm not going to win a body contest, but for me, what's important is what you do between the ropes in the ring, between bell to bell. I'm not gonna, there's obviously some amazing looking athletes out there. I'm trying to work on that, but it's not my strong suit. And so the soccer jersey is a way for me it's almost like an artistic expression for, things, representing, clubs that mean a lot to me, or representing countries that, that I might have an affinity for. But it's also a way for me to still have an athletic look without, because I'm not going to necessarily look, as athletic next to someone if I'm trying to show off my physique, because it's not going to be comparable to some of the guys I'm going to be in there with, right? Yeah. And so it was just a spin on something. I didn't want to be. There's lots of wrestlers out there that have their own vibe, and for me, it just wasn't working as a guy wearing a black T-shirt and shorts. So there's other guys who can pull that off. Your brawling type guys, or someone who looks like a real ass kicker, but that's not me. So I got to.
You're making guys like that tap out though.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be the best Daniel Makabe that I can be. I'm going to be the
Right.
best me that I can be. And so it's unique as well. And you know,
it is.
and something
It
that's
caught my eye because I am a soccer football fan, depending on where you're from. And, you know, I always kind of like, oh, what jersey's Daniel?
What's he wearing this time?
Like,
you know,
like I want to see, you know, like I've seen Roma, you know, like it's awesome. You know,
and something that's worked in, you know, it's been an amazing byproduct of it is, you know, when I come over to Europe, you know, the few times that I was able to do so pre-pandemic, I've got people from over there who are really diehards when it comes to their football, so you might wear
the wrong jersey.
Well, that has actually happened.
Oh, I'm sure they're passionate.
But you know, I've probably had 6 or 7 jerseys that have been gifted to me by fans who want me to wear, you know, their like hometown clubs. And we're talking some like small clubs in Germany, some smaller clubs in England, you know,
obscure
like
teams,
you know, teams and like teams I might have a cursory knowledge of, but you know, like it's almost led me to like, okay, I'm going to check out this team. I want to represent, you know, for, you know, if these fans are willing to invest in me, I want to invest in them, you know? So like, don't come to SCI and bring me like a Liverpool kit or a Manchester City kit or any like top flight EPL team, because it's very apparent that I'm a Chelsea supporter and I'm not going to wear any other team there.
You got to draw the line somewhere.
I got some lines, right?
I get it.
But I mean, if you you want to go out of your way to get me, that's it. They're all customized with my name and number on them too. Like that means the world to me. If someone wants to give me a gift like that, that's
you
so
had the number
cool.
9 on that night. I remember that one. So.
Number 9's my 9, lucky number 9. I was born on April 9th, which is the 99th day of the year. And 9 is, you know, it's historically it's a striker number. It's what a striker wears on a soccer team, and so it's an important number in soccer, and so that's
I like
why
that angle.
That's why I always wear number 9. So yeah, and the fact that I could tie into, you know, my merchandise with the yellow shirts, you know, reminiscent of the yellow Belgium jersey I wore that night when I won SCI back in 2019, with the added little star above the crest, because that's what a championship team does. They put the star above the crest.
Yes.
Right. So I thought that was a nice little touch, and hopefully I can come back next year and I'll have 2 stars up there for winning this year's tournament as well. But we'll see. Well, I don't want to get too ahead of myself.
No, we're going to talk about that, man. Before we get to that, man, Primo's got some fun questions for you, Daniel. All right, Primo, if you're ready, man, line them up here, man. This should be fun.
Yes, sir. I am ready. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I was just enjoying listening to Daniel talk about that. That was really interesting. Daniel, let's go outside the ring here with these questions, okay?
Absolutely.
Real quick, anybody that goes and clicks on your Twitter will automatically see that you're into music. So, when did you first learn to play guitar?
That's kind of an interesting story. So like I started playing guitar when I was like 11 years old. I had a friend in elementary school who was playing guitar, and I ended up going to the same guitar teacher that he did. And like all like 11, 12, 13-year-olds, you want to be good at something immediately. And I didn't have the chops right off the get-go, and I didn't have the real passion to, you know, be the type who sits down and practices hours a day and that sort of thing. And so I played a little bit, you know, from age 11 to maybe 14, but really didn't have the passion. And then it was in my early 20s, I had a pretty substantial back injury that actually took me away from wrestling for a couple of years.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
And so I needed something, you know, wrestling, obviously it's a physical outlet for me, but it's also a major creative outlet for me. And so I needed something to kind of fill that void as a creative outlet in my life. And then admittedly, I was trying to impress a girl, as one does with a guitar. And
what else is there to do with
and
it?
So I just picked it back up and really kind of took to it like a fish to water. And that was, you know, well over 20 years ago, 10 years ago. I'm not that old. I'm older than I look, but I'm not that old. And yeah, it's just something that has become a real passion of mine. And outside of wrestling, you know, I play in numerous bands, and I, you know, it's sometimes hard to juggle the schedule between, you know, if your band wants to play a gig and I got a booking somewhere. So, you know, that's a little bit tough, you know, but I have been lucky to play some amazing shows with some amazing people, a couple really cool tours I've gone on, and something I'm very passionate about now. So.
That is really cool, man. Yeah, and it never fails that there's always a girl involved when it comes to the guitar.
Every time.
Are there any other instruments that you or anything musically that you might be into besides guitar?
Oh, I mean, when it comes to actually playing them, I used to be able to fake my way on the drums a bit, but I've got good rhythm, but I really don't have any kind of actual training on it.
Okay.
I used to be a much better singer than I am now. I could fake it. I'll post some videos of me, playing acoustic guitar on my YouTube channel, and there was kind of a running back and forth between me and Alex Shelley, where we were posting covers and challenging one another, kind of building up to whenever the inevitable match happens between the two of us. Hopefully, sometime in the coming year or so. But I'm not that good of a singer anymore. I just kind of fake it. So otherwise, musically, I mean, I'm an avid record collector. I've got a pretty sizable vinyl collection. Prior to that, as a kid, I was a pretty avid CD buyer, and so there's no shortage of music in this household. That's for sure.
That is awesome. That is really cool, man. Well, that answers my next question, which was going to be, are there any lesser known skills or hobbies that you're into besides music and wrestling?
I mean, like record collecting, sure. You know what? I used to be a pretty avid hiker, and I'm lucky that I live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. I'm just outside Vancouver, British Columbia, and for my money, it's the most beautiful place on earth. And we've got some amazing area up there. Amazing scenery, amazing, just naturally beautiful part of the world. And I don't have to go very far to get off the beaten path. And there's some amazing trails here. Some of them more difficult than others, depending on how I'm feeling. I might challenge myself and do something a little bit more technical or with more of an incline to it. Or maybe I'm just feeling, something leisurely just to get out and be with nature, But I used to hike a lot when I wasn't having so many bookings on the weekends. But as that schedule started to pick up, a lot of the times I'm trying to recover from wrestling. We put our bodies through a lot, and so I don't always make as much time for hiking as I used to. That's kind of been a nice byproduct of the pandemic, is I've been able to get out a little bit more and enjoy nature, because I haven't had my focus on wrestling. I've been able to occupy my time that. But like recently, it was our national holiday here, Canada Day, and I did this beautiful place called Joffrey Lakes here in British Columbia. Look it up if you ever want to see the clearest, bluest water you've ever seen in your life. Went hiking there. It's about 3 hours outside of Vancouver. And yeah, that was a recent hike I went on. That was amazing. That I had only previously done once before, about 5-6 years ago. So
super cool.
That's really cool, man. Really awesome. If somebody were to come up to you, Daniel, and want to write a biography about you, what would the title be?
Oh God. Oh, interesting. I mean, they'd probably just call it Wrestling Genius, because that would be the marketable, like, sellable title, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, like, it's complicated. I've
only heard of one other wrestler in history being called the Wrestling Genius. You're one of two, I believe.
Are we talking Chris Hero? Is that the other one we're throwing around? Because he uses that moniker too nowadays. So
he does use them nowadays. I was thinking a little bit older. Wasn't Lanny Poffo the Wrestling Genius too?
Well, he was the genius.
The genius. I guess is close.
I don't know if he was. Yeah. I mean, he was the genius who wrestled, but yeah. He's better with words than I am. But what would my autobiography called? I don't know. Let's just go with Wrestling Genius.
Cattle mutilation.
I love it.
Yeah. That's been the story of my life the last couple of years. Is man. Once that thing gets locked on, they're not getting out. So
that's right. AC Mac, he can tell you.
He can tell you, and I'm hoping he gets to tell you about it again this coming weekend. Yeah,
I'd love to see it.
Daniel, what is your dream vacation?
Oh, man, you know what? I don't know if either of these count as vacation, but I've been really lucky that I've been able to see it. A lot of the world. I've been to quite a few countries in Europe. I was able to go to Cuba and actually play shows with my band there, and it's a beautiful country. It's been all over the United States. There's a lot of Canada that I actually haven't seen, because it's such a massive country. But the two places that are on the top of the list, and I could say they'd be dream vacations, but if I was being honest, they're dream places I would like to work. and that's Japan and Mexico. Both
Cool.
have such histories when it comes to wrestling,
yes.
and there's such integral parts of the culture there. I would love to be a tourist, and if the day comes that I don't get to wrestle in either country, I will most definitely go and experience some of the culture and some of the nature, and of course I'll take in some wrestling shows. But I'm the part of me that, that wants to go to those countries. I want to wrestle in those countries first and foremost. So if I get those chances, I'm going to take them. But if not, then they'll make for nice vacations in the future. So
Sure.
Awesome. Well, speaking of culture of other countries, and whether it's local or far away, what are some of your favorite foods?
Favorite foods. So I'm a vegetarian. I have been for about 5-6 years now. I find there's certain cultures that really they do vegetarian better than others, right? So a lot of them, ones that are really meat centric. I love Italian food, but a lot of Italian foods, really got a lot of meat going on, right? So
Sure.
I eat a lot of Mexican food. They do vegetarian really well. The other thing that I love that's a little off the beaten path is Lebanese food. And there's some really amazing Lebanese restaurants here in Vancouver that I hit up all the time. And they do, a lot of them, they do vegetarian and vegan real easy. So yeah, if it came down to it, those would be my big two, with our Lebanese and Mexican food. And I'm kind of an avid coffee drinker as well. That, I don't know if that counts as food and drink, but I'm a coffee guy as well. So
I'm right there with you, man.
Pacific Northwest, you got to have coffee, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there's bougie coffee stands on most corners in Vancouver and Seattle and Portland, and I'm all about it. So
yep.
All right, final question outside the ring here. If you could give your 10-year-old self some advice, what would it be?
Oh man,
good question.
That's it. That's really good. Like 10-year-old. So here's 10-year-old me, even 20-year-old me, 30-year-old me. I never imagined, the things that I would get to do and see on somebody else's dime. The fact that I've gotten to travel the world and met such amazing fans and people who have become friends and, seen some amazing places and wrestled. My first wrestling show I ever saw was WrestleMania 7. I was 6 years old and I was instantly captivated by it. And, to think a couple years later, if I'm 10 years old, to think, hey, if you keep this up and you have this passion and, you might wane from it, from time to time, but if you just stick with it, some seriously amazing things are going to happen to you. There's no way I would believe that any of this would be possible. And the fact that it is I don't even know what to say. It leaves me speechless sometimes.
Right.
It's I mean,
great
stick with it and be passionate. I'm passionate about wrestling. I'm passionate about music, and don't just go through life just kind of, aimlessly. Find things that you love, and regardless of whether you can do them for a career, just do them. That's what's important. Have things that you're passionate about and just do them.
Nice.
Perfect. I love that.
Great answer.
All right, Dirty, go ahead, man. What you got here?
All right, so Daniel, as we're here to talk about this weekend, but first of all, I want to talk about the Sit Down Marks podcast here. We are the official sponsor of your first round match with Adam Priest. We are super honored to be able to, in conjunction with SCI, be able to sponsor your match. So we are super pumped, man. Thank you for allowing us to be able to do that. And just super excited to what this weekend's going to bring.
I mean, honestly, I got to be thanking you guys, because does that mean you're paying the winner's purse when I tap out Adam Priest in the middle of the ring? Is that how that works? Is it you're the sponsors? So I thank you guys for putting money in my pocket when I make Adam Priest say uncle. That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good to me. I don't know.
Yeah. You can spin that however you want.
That's the way I chose to spin it. So that's what we're going with. So.
All right. So I want to get some small little notes here from you real quick. Let's rewind, Daniel, back to the 2019 SCI tournament. You ended up beating AC Mac for the championship. A lot of things went down. You had some legendary matches My favorite was the first round match against Tony Deppen. I swear you guys cleaned out the place. It was probably the match of the weekend for me. It had us out of our chairs going nuts the whole match. You had a great match with Slim J on your way to the finals. So we get to the finals. You're on your way to the ring. AC Mack hits you with the belts on the side, the legendary bloody ear from that tournament. Real quick, what was your thoughts about that when it happened? Did you think that your tournament was over? What was going through your mind?
I mean, honestly, I literally went to the back and spent like the entire duration. When you weren't seeing me in front of the crowd that evening, I had, I was lucky that there was some people with some medical training who were just doing what they can to bandage, butterfly that ear, try to close it up, try to get my senses back about me. Because that was as real gets, man. And that ear was split wide open. And even to the point that the following weekend, I had another big weekend of shows in Toronto, and the ear had basically sealed up, and literally 30 seconds into my first match back after, it split wide open right again. So, that ear was troublesome, more so than I expected it to be. And so it was just seal this thing up as best as we can, and let's get out there, because we're not going to let this guy win it like this. And thankfully I had Chattanooga people behind me, which still is amazing.
You were a firstborn son that weekend, dude. Like,
first time I'd ever stepped foot in that city. Had wrestled in Nashville before for SUP. And had really good experiences in the South. I was going to say Southeast. I've always had a great time there. I love the people there. And some of my biggest champions, people who have really, stuck their neck out for me and made it so that I've had the opportunities that I have been in the Southeast and really helped put my name on the map. And so, I'm forever grateful to those guys. But I wasn't expecting that kind of reaction when I came back out, and the ring being surrounded by everyone. When the trophy is presented to me,
I was one of those guys. Slapped on the mat. I appreciate going crazy.
I appreciate it, man. That was.
I got video of it all. You came back out. AC Mack was celebrating. He already had the microphone yelling into it. And that he had won. Daniel comes out, cattle mutilation. It's over. He taps out. Place goes nuts, man. You delivered an awesome speech. You were gracious and nice enough to take a picture with me before you went to the back after the match. So thank you again. You didn't know me from anybody before this, so that was really cool of you.
I mean, here's the thing, the fact that there's anyone out there who wants to get their picture taken with me, of course, I'm going to take the time to, if you want a picture or you want an autograph or you just want to shake my hand or whatever, of course I've got time for people. If you got the time to support me, be it, cheering for my match or buying a t-shirt or following me on social media or whatever you do, I'm so above appreciative for that. So and I mean, the real cool thing that night was, I'm in the back and they're taking some pictures of me and the trophy, and then they said, no, you got to come back out for a photo. And they had the entire bleachers just filled.
Everybody was just sitting there waiting
for the big picture.
It was great. Yeah,
I know. I didn't know I was keeping everybody waiting, but that that was so cool. That whole weekend was so cool. Busted ear or not, it's all worth it in the end. When things are all said and done, and I'm no longer wrestling, and I'm an old man, I'm going to be able to look back on that weekend as one of the highlights of my life for sure.
You got that big trophy too, man, to always remember too.
I'm going to use this as a platform just to say that SCI told me that they were going to mail me that trophy, and they still to this date have not. So
all right, I'll tag them.
We're going to call them out. We're going to call them out. It's not cheap. I'm sure it's not cheap to ship that trophy all the way up here to Vancouver, but I want that trophy.
Right. Yeah. Well, they might be waiting to give it to you this weekend.
I was going to say,
or they're going to give you two. They're going to have to hire a long distance courier, because they're going to have to ship a pallet with two trophies on it. It's not going to just be UPS or someone in a little box now. It's going to be an LTL courier. Yeah. All right. Well, let's fast forward to this weekend, man. There was no tournament last year, so you get to come back and defend. All we know is your first round match that sponsored by the Sit Down Marks podcast.
Thank you
Available
again.
everywhere, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcast, against Adam Priest. So what are we thinking here? This is a tough first round match for you, man. What are we thinking? And what's the game plan without telling us too much?
I mean, here's the thing. He's really good, and he's someone who's kind of bubbled up in the last year or so, kind of in COVID. He's someone who has made his name in New South and in Action and a little bit in SUP, the one weekend of shows that they ran. And I'm impressed, full admission. I'm very impressed. He reminds me of someone super intense, like a Dynamite Kid or someone like that, who maybe looks a little short in stature, but super well put together, looks really strong. I'm going to find out firsthand how strong he is. The one thing I'll say is he's coming off an injury. He was injured at the hands of Matt Mikowski over WrestleMania weekend in Florida on the Action Have Fun Be Sad show that I happened to be on. And, he's come back. He's had a couple matches, but who's to say if the injury is back at 100%? Who's to say it's, I believe it was an arm. I believe I'm someone who's maybe known for targeting arms or other limbs, and
you have been known to do that.
Picking them apart, and I like to fight fair. I'm not gonna, necessarily take advantage of a guy's weak limb, but if you're gonna present me with an opening, who's to say that I'm not gonna take it?
Right.
I want to win this tournament as badly, maybe more so than anyone else in the field. I want to be the first guy to repeat. First two-time SCI champion ever, back-to-back years for all intents and purposes, because there was no 2020 tournament, although I was announced for that tournament when it first was announced earlier in 2020. But yeah, so I'm not looking past him whatsoever. I think it's going to be a really hard-fought match. I think he's going to make me work. I think, he's muscular, but he's a little smaller in stature. I think he might have a bigger gas tank than I do, but I'm gonna, one thing I do better than a lot of people is I make people work, and I grind people out on the mat. And it's one thing to, running around, having the cardio to be running circles around someone, but there's another kind of cardio, and that's getting someone off of you and getting someone who's trying to tie you into pretzels. If you're trying to constantly have to fight them off and be moving limbs out of your way and grabbing arms from around your throat, that's exhausting. And he's going to find out firsthand exactly the kind of pressure that I put on someone when it comes to the mat. So.
Yep, definitely is. Well, Daniel, want to thank you here. I got one more question for you on the way out, but I want to thank you for taking your time tonight. We wish you all the best of luck with anything. We'll be talking to you as two-time champ after this. So we want to thank you so much for taking the time to come on, and we are so happy to be able to sponsor your match, Daniel. So I got one last question for you, man. I want to ask, who is the dream opponent? If you got one last match to go out, anybody in history, anytime, anywhere, who would it be?
Oh man. I mean, there's a couple big ones that, I'm unabashedly, maybe my favorite wrestler ever is Dick Beyer, the sensational intelligent destroyer. RIP, he passed away a couple years ago. His work is so legendary and ahead of its time. Look him up. There's some amazing matches from the 60s and 70s on YouTube. Mm-hmm. But I think when it comes down to it, I think he's the greatest of this generation and maybe the biggest influence on me as a pro wrestler. It's Daniel Bryan Danielson, whatever you want to call him.
Sure.
The American Dragon.
You've been known to sing a song about him.
That was actually my friend. Shout out to my friends in Cheap Pop, Jackie and Nick. They do an amazing band called Cheap Pop, and they wrote a song about Bryan Danielson. I just covered it. That was their song. So
look it up, everyone.
Look it up. It's on my socials. But yeah, I would love to wrestle Bryan Danielson. That'd be a dream come true. Someone, two guys from the Pacific Northwest. He's obviously done a little bit more than I have, but he came from a small town, Aberdeen, Washington. I'm from a relatively small town, New Westminster, British Columbia. And I think that'd be an amazing way to go out for me. So
yeah, great answer, man. Well, once again, Daniel, thank you so much, man. Best of luck to everything. Go follow Daniel Makabe on Twitter, all his social medias. Make sure you see this guy wrestle live sooner or later. You're not a wrestling fan until you see this guy wrestle live. But best of luck, Daniel. Thank you so much, man. And can't wait to hopefully bring you back on. Let's talk again soon.
Thank you so much, guys. The pleasure's been all mine. I appreciate you sponsoring the match. I appreciate having me on, and looking forward to seeing you guys this coming weekend at SCI. And anyone listening at home, hopefully you make it to Chattanooga and see me repeat as two-time SCI champion.
That's right. Check out Scenic City Invitational this weekend on IWTV Friday and Saturday, and the future showcases during the day on Saturday. And then check out this man, Daniel Makabe, right here against Adam Priest, opening match. Sit Down Marks Podcast is the sponsor. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Daniel, thank you, man. Have a great night, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Good evening, Marks. Tonight we will. God fucking damn it. See, this is what I do. Good evening, Marks. Welcome to another sit-down chat with two of your three favorite wrestling nerds, Primo and AJ. Tonight we have a conversation with Freelance Underground / Black Label Pro / Iron Spirit Pro / many other indie promotions / Nightmare Factory graduate. Think I got all that. Trevor Outlaw, who will tell us why he's better than everyone else. Is he? Well, find out right now on Sit Down Marks. Trevor, thank you for joining us. I know that you've been having a busy time lately, so we really appreciate you coming on. How you doing?
The pleasure is all yours. I mean, I know you guys have your normal shtick here, but you guys got to work on your introductions, man. I mean, that was a little lackluster. When you have a guest of, I'm sure you guys have had excellent guests, but none of the caliber of yours, rudely. So put a little bit more pizzazz on it next time if you guys want me to come back, because we're off to a rough start right now.
Do you want me to do it again? We're nervous. Like we don't.
I get it. I'm an intimidating kind of guy, but no, you know what? Leave it. Let the people see you guys' mistakes. Learn from it, grow from it, and make yourselves better. I don't really make mistakes. It's not really something that I do, but I do hear that mistakes are a great way to learn and get better. So keep it for your loyal listeners.
Okay, so that was okay enough for you, like that for okay, enough for you and your beard, like it's good.
It's passable for others. So we'll say that that's okay. For my standards, not so much, but you know what, you guys, nobody can live up to my standards. So I'll let it slide this time.
Well, thank you. That's very, very gracious of you, Trevor. So I just want to, we've listened to a bunch of interviews with you before. We know that, you're a graduate of the Nightmare Factory. You've talked extensively about Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall and, the people that you've been lucky enough to train under. And we know, your influences. You've talked about Owen Hart, you've talked about Edge, but one thing that I didn't find in any of the interviews that you've done before is why professional wrestling? Why did you get into this business?
It's surprising that that's a question that I don't get more. I mean, it's kind of like one of your basic, dumb, generic wrestling interview questions, but it's one that I normally don't get asked. So in this case, it's actually not a bad question. For me, some professional wrestling has kind of been something I've always been into. I don't have a distinct memory of as a child of when I started watching it. I just remember my cousin would come over and he would put it on the TV and my mom wouldn't pay attention. So I'd be jumping around the couch like a maniac watching it. I kind of fell out of love with it when I was younger, maybe up around 10. And then some of my friends were super into it. So they got me back into it. And I've been, it's been something I've been into ever since. I had a really successful amateur wrestling career due to injury. I cut that career a little short, took some time off to rehab the body, get a college education. And I knew one way or another I would end up getting involved with wrestling. I just didn't know how, and I didn't realize things would take off as quickly as they have.
So you've been doing this for, I think, 2 years. Is that right?
Less than
2 years.
Even a shorter time. If you take out all of the time that was lost at the beginning of the pandemic, it's even shorter. So, being a main event player in less than 2 years is pretty unheard of for anybody. But to be doing it on a technical scale, even less time, and be as successful as I have been this early on, I might be what they call a once in a generation performer.
Yes. I mean, I hate to inflate your humble ego there, but it is quite impressive that you've been able to make such strides. And watching some of your matches, it's clear that you do have that ability to not only go in the ring and talk on the microphone. But do you have to be such bastard about everything? Like, hey, what's with that?
Why are you bringing my personal life into this?
No.
No. This is a wrestling interview. We don't have to talk about me being a bastard or any of those things. It's a little unprofessional that you would even ask me such a thing. But back to your question before I got completely backhanded. Yes, I do have to be this way because a lot of people put on this charade and they want to convince you that they're somebody that they're not. And they'll do anything they can to get that clip of a cool move, or please buy my shirts, or please listen to some shitty promo that I'm going to cut in my car that has absolutely nothing to do with who I am in there. It's all fake. And that's why people say wrestling is fake. Wrestling itself is as real as it can get. The bumps hurt, the moves hurt, but what's fake about it is all these people. And for me, I'm unapologetically myself, baby. I mean, here's the thing. You see a man walking around in a cheetah print shirt and some nice boots, you're probably going to question what that guy's doing. But I'll walk out of my house, whether it's, going to the show, whether I'm going to the grocery store. This is every day for me. So, everybody wants to say, oh, I'm such a prick. I'm such an asshole. I'm a bastard. I'm insert explicitive word here. But they're all still paying attention to whatever I'm doing. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Well, I mean, when you mention that, like you do like come off that way, but then at the same time, they boo you in the ring, but they buy your shirts and they come to see your matches. I mean, I bought this shirt, this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle looking thing, because I knocked it on the ground. So, I mean, that was kind of a different situation. However, the point remains.
You buy it, bozo. That's the rules.
So, what do you think of the product that is being put out in both, the indies and, in the quote unquote big time, like AEW and WWE? What do you think of the product that's out? What do you think the state of wrestling is? And what do you see as your part in it moving forward?
I think the state of wrestling on a large scale is in serious peril of star power. There's a lot of guys jumping shit back and forth between, WWE and AEW, and they're doing their own thing. I'm not really paying too much mind to that. But especially on an independent level, there's nobody out there that's really grabbing people's attention. And if they do, it's, you have their attention, or they have your attention rather, because of some clip, because they can do a Canadian destroyer. Well, guess what? I can do a Canadian destroyer too. And I've done one. And it turned out pretty cool, and I won the match. But I don't care about that stuff. Everybody else does, but they're not trying to make the business bigger. They're not trying to become bigger than the business. That's been my goal since day one. Since the first day that I started training, before the Nightmare Factory, when I first started at freelance, my goal was to make it to the top. Not because, I want to show everybody how hard I work. I know I'm the hardest worker in the room. I don't need to post pictures in the gym or show you videos of my workouts to let you know that I'm going to kick people's asses. I just go out there and I do the damn thing. And that's what makes me so much different than everybody else, because I'm focused on becoming the biggest star in this business. Everybody else just wants your attention and they want a couple likes on social media. No, I'm trying to take this damn thing over. And as far as I'm concerned, the independents, the major companies, whatever way you want to categorize them, they're all lacking severely because there's not enough Trevor Outlaw in their lives.
So is there a championship coming up in the near future for you there, Trevor?
Absolutely. It's just a matter of when and where. Aside from the many nicknames I have, Mr. Card Subject to Change is the newest one added to the list as of late. Particularly with my home promotion in freelance wrestling, the last couple of weeks, the last couple of shows, things have changed. I was supposed to be going against Effie in a trios tag match, and things changed. We had a heated conversation in the back, and I said, I don't care about these other guys. I want you one-on-one. The last time we wrestled, he beat me. So I had a chip on my shoulder, and
sure,
I kicked his ass. The next weekend, Kylie Ray comes out and relinquishes the freelance wrestling title. Do you know how much that pisses me off?
A little bit?
A lot. Because she is someone I can attribute to someone who has helped train me as as an athlete, I have good things to say about her, but as a person, I have no respect for her. Just handing over the title like that. Now, mind you, she retired, came back, retired, whatever. But my opportunity to take that title from her was taken from me. So I called an audible and I made a statement by attacking her. I ended up in the main event with her and her boyfriend, Isaiah, who's my other trainer. And this is, for any other student, this would probably be like a big deal. Like you finally get that teacher versus student matchup. That wasn't the case for me. This was, I'm going to take these two out back, treat them like Old Yeller, and put them to bed, put them to rest for good. And I did that. So now I should be in contentions for this championship. I don't know. They're going to do a tournament. They should just give my ass a bye to the finals. That's my personal opinion, but I've already made a statement showing that I'm not just a mouth, that I can walk the walk as well. So any challenger in this tournament doesn't stand a chance against me. And any other promotion that I start to make my way to, I'm coming for your top dogs right off the bat. I'm not coming there to impress the promoters to get them to bring me back. No, I'm coming for your top dog. I'm going to slit his throat and I'm going to take my rightful spot at the top.
Well, so one, I appreciate you assuming that our listeners are all literate, because you made a reference to a book, which was nice. You know, people know how Old Yeller ends. So thank you for not assuming all of our listeners are bozos.
They're all bozos, but I mean, everybody's education level.
But they're just literate bozos. I like it. So what exactly is Trevtember 20th? What happens there? What's that?
That's the greatest. That's the greatest holiday known to man. Trevtember 20th is the day that we celebrate the birth of yours rudely.
So when you were born, did you have like the beard all formed and like a little baby like coming out? Like
hell yeah, bitch! I was like Paul Bunyan. I came out looking beautiful from the start. I had a leopard print diaper on. The nurse was trying to spank me, and I said, "No, you got to take me out for dinner first."
So on Trevtember 20th, everybody lines the streets and everybody celebrates the Trevor Outlaw.
You're damn right. It's a great holiday.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna mark it in my daily planner if I had.
Why wasn't it marked already?
I mean, I knew that it was Trevtember 20th. I knew. Apart from that, I was like, okay, like that's it. That's enough. I don't have to go any further than knowing that it's an actual thing. I didn't really. I figured you can, fill in the blanks for everyone else, and you have. So I'm sure you'll expect lots of birthday cards and
shower me with gifts. Well, I don't really need money. I'm not one of those like, oh, look at me, I'm a rich guy wrestler. Because most of the guys that do that are actually broke as hell and can't even afford gas to get home. But yeah, shower me in gifts. Shower me with love, hatred, whatever the hell you want. Just give me stuff.
So really, really quick before I pass you over to Primo there. So you've talked about, again, Owen Hart and Edge being you said that you don't really have influence because obviously you're Tyler Outlaw. By the way, how much does it piss you off
Outlaw?
when the announcers say Tyler Outlaw instead of Trevor Outlaw? Because I noticed that happened once or twice. They're like, come to the ring, Tyler Outlaw. Is that sting just a little bit?
Yeah, get it right. It's not my fault people are amateurs. Clearly you're an amateur. You try to spin it into a question. No. You screwed up and I called you out on it. And now you're sitting there with like a dog with your tail between your legs, trying to make up for it. Ain't gonna work, pal.
Okay, well, I apologize for that, Tyler. So moving forward, when you spoke about Owen and Edge as two of your influences, what's like one of your favorite Owen matches, for instance? Like, what really got you into him?
Owen Hart versus Shawn Michaels in Your House 6. I think it was like February 1996. My favorite Owen Hart match today. I mean, him and Brett were great, but Owen versus Shawn in Your House 6 is the greatest Owen Hart match ever. I never was like a too big of a Shawn Michaels guy, but I've always respected and appreciated his work. But I wasn't like a huge stand for him like a lot of other people in the business are.
Sure.
But something about Owen, man, like Shawn had all the components and he was on the verge of becoming WWE champion. But Owen didn't care, man. He was still coming in there. He's like, I'm going to kick your ass. Like, you think this is going to be an easy night at the office for you? Au contraire, mon frère. I'm going to beat the living hell out of you. And I mean, Sean barely won that match. Like, barely won that match. But, you know, Owen had the personality. Owen had the in-ring skills. I think he was another guy that was a once-in-a-generation performer. And the fact that his life was cut so short, aside from it being a tragedy, it's truly heartbreaking that there isn't more of his stuff to watch and to learn from.
I agree, actually.
I'll never say a bad thing about Owen Hart. Never.
I hate to agree with you, but I also not that it matters if I agree or not, but I also love Owen Hart. So we have that in common, that and our love of the Chicago Cubs. So I
Excuse
will.
Me? Whoa, backtrack. You're not going to slip that one in there on me, pal. You're not that guy, pal. That's not gonna happen.
So you're not a Cubs fan, is what you're
No,
saying.
the Cubs suck. I'm a Southsider, bro. What the hell?
So you're a bandwagon fan, is what you're saying.
Excuse me. Did you just call me a bandwagon fan? Brother, you probably didn't know who the Cubs were until 2016. So bite me. Okay. I've been a White Sox fan since the day I was born. Bandwagoner. You know, you're really pissing me off. I think it's time to switch him over to Primo. Primo, please tell me you have less dumb questions than this bozo over here.
I can't promise they're not as dumb, but they definitely will get some sort of a reaction. Let's go with I'll start off. How does it feel to not only be the biggest threat in freelance wrestling, but the entire professional wrestling landscape?
That's a good question. Trevor Likey, that one. It feels great. You know, there's a lot of vindication behind it. When I first started wrestling, you know, people were like, oh, you suck. Like, you're never going to make it in this business. You're never going to do anything. You know, that same guy can't even get a pre-show match at freelance. And meanwhile, my first main show match, I'm in the main event and I win. So it's good. It's a good feeling. You know, there's a lot of people that claim they don't care what the fans think. I really don't. But I do care in the aspect of I almost need their hatred. I'm fueled by hatred because when I see that I ruin someone's day, oh, it makes me so happy. And I know nothing ruins people's day more than to see me just rising to the top, especially all those 20-year bozos who've never gone more than 40 miles in their life. Just watching somebody just grab that brass ring quicker than they could even see where it was in the first place. It's a wonderful feeling.
Hell yeah. So I hear that you have a $1 million insurance policy on that glorious beard of yours. So what kind of perks come with that?
If anything happens to it, I have the right to execute any assailant. So if anyone comes near my beard, I can kill them on the spot and I will not suffer any consequence because I was attacked first.
So that justifies deadly force.
Exactly. Assault with deadly force is warranted if you even think about touching my beard.
All right. How do you feel about made up words like faux pas and kayfabe?
Jesus Christ. I mean, you guys have clearly done your research. So, I mean, you know, I'll give you that. But if you've actually done your research, you would already know the answer to that question is that I think made up words are ridiculous unless I'm the one making them up. I can make up words and make them a thing, but anybody else, no. So that's, no.
Cool. All right. So let's get a little bit away from there. And what was your first tattoo? You got a lot of tattoos there. So what was your first tattoo and which one is your favorite?
Oh, man. So the first tattoo I got, I'm actually in the process of removing it right now. I had a cross on my chest when I got it when I was 18, and a bunch of other people got shitty tattoos in this guy's basement, even though we were all of age. Spent like $60 on the damn thing. And it's not terrible, but it was bad enough to me that I was like, I don't want this. I need to get rid of this. And, you know, when I inevitably get on TV, I would like to not have any sort of religious connotations on me. You know, I don't knock anybody. If there's one thing that I don't knock, it's people's spiritual beliefs. But me personally, I don't like to associate that with my professional career. however I feel about, certain things now are different than how I did when I was younger. And it's not a knock against it. I would rather steer clear of anything that I could be labeled in any sort of category that, one, I'm not in anymore. And two, that's just not my tree to bark up.
Cool. So outside of professional wrestling and making people want to go cry in a corner, what other hobbies do you have?
Making people cry in a corner outside of the wrestling ring.
Either way, outside or in the ring.
No, that's my answer.
Oh, outside. That's the whole answer. Okay.
Nothing brings me more joy than ruining people's days. On the street that I live at here in Chicago, we've got a cool ice cream truck that comes by, and man, there's nothing better than watching a little kid about to take that first lick of his ice cream cone and then just giving him a big boot right to the face and watching the ice cream fly in the air.
That would
fantastic.
That would be hilarious. Actually,
yeah, we condone child abuse here. I was abused as a child, but I turned out all right.
So you look like you're in great physical condition. I doubt you eat either of these, but pancakes or waffles?
Waffles, chicken and waffles only.
There you go, AJ. There's another waffle man for you.
I'm never gonna get a pancake. Like, can we just have a pancake person on the show one time, please?
No, because pancakes are ass, just like your opinion on the Chicago Cubs.
But just because I'm wearing a Chicago Cubs hat doesn't mean it. Here, look, is this better? Here, for you, I'll Atlanta Braves. There, better.
Man, you have no loyalty to any team. You're over here calling me a bandwagoner.
It just got worse. Oh,
you're
man,
a snake, bro.
So you're basically a walking cheetah print billboard. What is the largest animal that Trevor Outlaw could take in a fight?
A Yeti.
A Yeti.
I don't know. That's just the first one that came to mind. Brother, I can take down any animal with my bare hands. Everyone talks about these legends of like Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is a bitch. All right. Chuck Norris can't do half the things that I can do.
Well, that answers my next question, which is Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee?
Bruce Lee, a bitch too.
You have to pick one.
No, I don't. I don't have to do anything. Who the hell are you to tell me I have to pick one? I'll knock both of those bozos out.
That's fair. Oh, only one of them's alive. But
so?
What's your favorite?
I'll punch anyone, living, dead, man, woman, child. I hate everybody equally. There's no discrimination over here. If you get in my way, you're going to get one of these right to your suckhole. There's no exemptions.
Even worse if you tamper with the beard, right?
You're learning. Congratulations.
Absolutely. What's your favorite football team?
I don't watch football. Football's fake. It's fixed.
Okay.
I should say the Chicago Bears, but I mean, they've never done anything.
You shouldn't say the Chicago Bears at all. If there was a biography written about you, what would the title be?
If you're reading this, you're a bozo. But thanks for the money.
That's the best answer we've had to that question.
I refuse to acknowledge that that's the best answer, but I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge it anyways. That is the best answer that we've got.
So then you're not refusing to acknowledge it then?
No.
That's the dumbest thing that I've ever heard. Now, I don't know if Primo could get much dumber. I don't know if you can get much dumber, but I am dumber for having to sit and listen through that. I award you no points, and may God
have mercy on my soul. Yeah, I've seen that movie too. That's
I figured you're not very literate, so I figured if I made like a simple movie reference for you, something of your brain capacity, it might translate to you, which it did. So I was right.
You were. That's very well done. And I'm sorry that we've throughout this conversation have maybe dropped your IQ a couple of points, but maybe it's good for you. Maybe it'll going forward it'll help you out.
You drop my IQ, man. You're just dropping it like it's hot, brother.
You dropped his first name.
It's not hot right now.
I mean, I also remember that reference from 2003. Very, very topical.
2004. Get it right. God, you are just bad.
Trevor, if you could walk out to any entrance music, what would you choose?
If you've done your research, you would already know the answer to that question because I already do.
Fair
Just a
enough.
stroke. Billy Squire, nothing else. If anyone comes to sign me, I'm not signing any national television deal without getting the rights to The Stroke by Billy Squire. So either make it happen or you won't see me on your TVs, but you'll see me everywhere else. I beat to my own drum. You know, everybody associates my name with like Red Dead Redemption and some bullshit cowboy things because they're all simps.
Or
and they don't know how
the
to think.
the guy that murdered some people that online that has the name Trevor Outlaw. What does he go by? Wolfie, AJ?
Wolfie.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But
Wolfie.
before you rudely interrupted me, with what is it? What is this guy you're talking about? Now,
So when
now
you
you're throwing my train of thought off. Don't
So
ever
when
do
you
that
when
again.
you Google Trevor Outlaw, so I mean you pop up obviously, but then right underneath you, it's
Like directly underneath you.
an alleged murderer named Trevor Outlaw who goes by Wolfie. So I don't know if that was like one of your inspirations for your name, or if you just thought Trevor Outlaw was, you know, badass, or if you're like, oh hey, look, this guy probably punched a baby or two in his life. I'm gonna take.
What do you mean inspiration for my name? My name is my name, jackass.
Well, I mean, maybe you tweaked it a little bit.
So let me get this straight. So there's somebody else out there that has the same name as me, right? But he goes by this alias
Wolfie. Yeah.
All right. So any credibility that this guy has as a potential murderer is already thrown out the window with a dumbass nickname like Wolfie. But you guys still buy into this.
No, I don't know how you
bring
can
a dumb question like this to the table in front of me. Here's the thing. Maybe I do have some bodies. All right. Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. You know, I plead the fifth. Okay. Next question that doesn't involve incriminating me.
Next question. All right. Last one we got here.
Thank God.
For me, and then I'm gonna pass you back to AJ. So,
oh God, please no.
Currently, as far as what you see on television, be it any promotion that's on TV, what appeals to you? And if one of them calls you right now, you know, how quickly would you say, you know, I'm on the way? I'm going to be your number one guy, though, because obviously I'm Trevor Outlaw.
I mean, I would definitely say I'm going to be your number one guy because I'm Trevor Outlaw, like, because that's a fact, right? Anywhere I go, I'm top dog. In terms of like jumping for joy for a contract, you know, there's a lot of these guys who will not be able to survive unless they get signed to go sit in catering for 3 to 5 years. And that's their dream. And that's okay. You know what? Some people dream big. Some people dream to say that I participated. That's not the case for Trevor Outlaw. When the time's right, I'll sign where I feel the best, where I will be treated the best. But I'm not one of these clout chasing morons who has nothing else to live for besides getting signed. I mean, I'm a top name anywhere I go. And if anybody tries to deny that, I get in the ring and I show it. It doesn't matter how large or small the scale of that is. But I mean, in terms of, you know, my focus on getting signed to a national television deal, I'm wherever the money's right. You know, if I had to guess anywhere, because I know everybody always asks, oh, is it the red pill or the blue pill? Obviously, I would be more inclined to want to sign with AEW because I trained under Cody. I trained under QT Marshall. It was a difficult experience because, you know, they both hate each other's guts. So I had to learn from one at a time. But things like that benefited me because I have personal relationships with both of them. You know, QT is my kind of guy. He's somebody that I gravitated towards a lot. You know, he doesn't take shit from anybody. I don't take shit from anybody. We're both amazing in the ring. So I do think that looking further ahead, that's probably the place that I would want to end up over WWE. But I mean, I think I would thrive in any system I'm in. You know, a lot of people like to bitch that the system that they're in fails them for either company. I believe that companies don't fail the people that work for them. I believe that the people that work for them fail themselves. And, you know, corporate America is a son of a bitch, but you know, if you can stab the snake in the front, you don't have to worry about it coming to bite you in the ass.
That's great. Actually, I lied. I do have one more question. I'm sorry. But
Why are you lying to me? I don't like liars.
Well, I thought of it as you were just speaking.
We'll think ahead next time. Man, you guys have got to get better at this. I mean, I know some of your other guests are amateur and they'll probably just look past this kind of stuff, but I'm all about high production value, baby. You guys got to get it together.
Well, you're welcome for this last question from me. It's
I'm welcome.
How lucky is Kid Bandit that he was able to wrestle you during that Class 3 showcase, Nightmare showcase?
That kid would be nothing if it wasn't for me. And that goes for anybody else that steps in the ring with me. You know, everybody gets the rub from Trevor Outlaw when you get into the ring with me. I came up a little bit short. You know, he had a couple of crazy ass moves in his arsenal that really rocked me and almost, you know, hospitalized me because they were dangerous. But Kid Bandit's a crazy son of a bitch. You know, I think everybody that I trained with there at the Nightmare Factory, they're all a bunch of lunatics. And I liked Kid Bandit leading into finding out that I was going to wrestle him. We didn't know who we were going to wrestle until we got to the factory that day. I knew I would be in a prominent singles match. Where they placed it on the card, I didn't know because, you know, you need to put somebody that has high caliber to put on a good match in the middle because that's where people tend to leave. Because obviously they're going to watch the opener and obviously they're going to watch the main event. But the real main event is wherever you put Trevor Outlaw on the show. And if you want people to sit through, you can go ahead and throw me at match 5. That's the main event, though. Anybody that follows that, good luck following that. What followed my match? The Battle Royal? How well did that go? What followed that? Brandon Gore versus Dean Alexander? How well did that go? Both great wrestlers, but they don't exude the star power that I do. Which Brandon Gore, by the way, before you lead into another terrible question or passing me to the bozo that's below me, Brandon Gore and I get to face one-on-one in a couple of weeks for the American Wrestling Federation in Minnesota. That's his home promotion. So I've been making a name for myself there, of course. And now I'm coming to his home promotion. I'm going to take him out back just like old Yeller. I remember the reference from earlier. And I'm going to blast his head off like the old dog that he is. And I'm going to show him he wasn't the real main event. I am.
Very good. Thank you for answering my dumb questions. Now it's AJ's turn to ask you a few more.
Well,
oh boy. Yeah. All right.
Well, I mean, you kind of just answered one of mine, so I'm going to be redundant and I apologize. But apart from, you know, your dates in Minnesota coming up, what's on, and apart from September 20th, obviously we all remember it clearly and gifts will be forthcoming. What's on the horizon? What do you have coming up?
I got a lot. I don't know when this is, how far after these were recorded do you guys, we're gonna peel back the curtain a little bit here, since you guys like to, you know, get unprofessional. I'm gonna do the same here for a minute. How far after this is gonna be out? Because I don't want to say all my dates if this airs like after all of that. What's your turnaround time? Tomorrow? Okay, not bad. That's pretty professional. I'll take that. So tomorrow, as we get closer to September 20th, I've got Journey Pro in Kansas on Friday, September 17th. The next day, I'm wrestling in the historic Berwyn Eagles Club. That's one of the only venues in Chicago that I haven't wrestled in that I really want to. It's like
very cool.
Big name venue to cross off my bucket list. I'm wrestling the Ice Pick Vic Capri. This guy's been wrestling for probably close to as many years as I've been alive. I mean, this dude is old enough to be my absent father. But you know, he's one of those guys that everybody around here respects for some reason. And I don't really understand why, because as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen him wrestle on videos that have over 170,000+ views. I've never seen him main eventing a freelance show on his first match nonetheless. But people like this guy. People respect him. And that pisses me off. So I have a thing for these quote unquote legends. You know, it gets me all wound up, all hot and bothered, if you will, to just really just stick it to these old heads who think that they're going to teach these kids a lesson. Don't worry, kid. You're going to get a lesson on how to be a wrestler. Nah, bitch, that's not what's going to happen. I'm going to smack you in the face and say, what's old is old, and I'm what's next, and I'm right now.
Well, I think that is as good a time as any to say, Trevor, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, the pleasure was all yours.
It was. It truly was. We look forward to seeing what comes up next for you. And you say you're going to be on TV at some point in the future. I'm sure we all will agree and say we look forward to it.
You don't have a choice.
That's true, but it's a welcome kind of situation. You know, you certainly have already. Actually, never mind. I'm just going to end the interview by saying, you know, thanks for coming on. It's been super fun.
No. You were going to put me over. Come on. Okay. You've done all this crap this entire time that I've been sitting here. You have one opportunity to partially redeem yourself a little bit. Come on, put me over. You know I love it.
So everyone, Trevor Outlaw.
Hold on. But first, take that Cubs hat off.
I can't. It's part of my head. Like I can't.
No. I'm sure your hairline is not nearly as good as mine. I'll let you take a second to switch hats, but you're gonna take that damn hat off and you're gonna put me over.
Okay, I will if you put on a Cubs T-shirt over your.
I don't own that. I don't own any Cubs paraphernalia. I only support winning organizations.
Since when was the last World Series you guys had? 2005.
Yeah, right? But where's your guys'? All your studs. Oh, that's right. The Cubs have imploded. The Cubs suck.
We're giving the young kids a chance now.
Giving the young kids a chance. My hands. Hey, the White Sox got a young team too. And I'm gonna tell you what. When they make it to the World Series, I'm gonna come on your guys' podcast again, and I am going to tell you I told you so for 45 minutes straight. And then you're gonna release it the next day saying Trevor Outlaw was right. I'm a bozo and I'm wrong. And that's gonna be the title of your episode. It's a little long, but it's very apropos.
We'll do that.
Yeah, we'll squeeze it into the title card.
100%.
It'll be fun.
Real quick before we close out the show, Trevor, this is your platform. Go ahead and feel free to plug anything you want. Obviously, your Twitter, your IG is at the Trevor Outlaw. So floor is yours, sir. Go ahead and let all the bozos out there know what you got going on.
Yeah, I mean, the floor should have been mine from the start. But as you were saying, my social medias are the Trevor Outlaw on everything. ProWrestlingTees.com/Trevor Outlaw. I don't know how that shoot message thing works, but if you want me to ruin somebody's day, if you want me to tell your mother she's a terrible person, if you want me to tell your father that he is a piece of shit, I'll just pretend that it's mine and do the same. Yeah, that's where you can find me. Before we go, though, we were talking about fake words earlier, and kayfabe being one of them. The thumbnail, I couldn't see it before, but aside from that terrible Texas Longhorns flag background, does your shirt have a fake word on it? Does it say kayfabe on there?
I wore this just
never
for you.
Break kayfabe. Never break a fake word. What does that mean?
That's right.
Your shirt reads nonsense. You go out in public wearing that shirt. You go out in public with a shirt that has a sentence on it that makes absolutely no sense, and you're okay with that.
Yep, I am.
And
I did wear it just for you.
Texas Longhorns. That is, I'm understanding that correctly, right?
The greatest college football team of all time. But make sure you say that title before you say Texas Longhorns next time.
Yeah. No, I'm not going to make sure I do that. That's not really. Sorry, brother. My character wouldn't do that. But I'll put over the Iowa Hawkeyes any day of the week.
Iowa Hawkeyes.
Yeah, baby. 2021 NCAA wrestling champions. You guys can't see it in the Rude residence. But we have an Iowa Hawkeyes banner that has all their championships on there. We're getting one added for this most recent one this year.
I see. I'm a U of I fan because I have to be. So yeah, I apologize for that. See, at least I'm not making
I'm not
any
even going to make
claim.
fun of you for being a U of I fan because they literally don't do anything, and just supporting them itself is enough of a joke for me to laugh at. So,
but at least they're not even like the Texas Longhorns. They're not even the best football team in Texas. So I mean, there's that. Sorry,
fired, AJ.
I've been fired so many times from the show that it's meaningless. You might as well put that on a T-shirt and wear it around since it's also nonsense.
I mean, hey, maybe it'll be a better shirt to wear than that dumbass one that he's wearing that makes absolutely no sense.
What about mine? What do you think of mine, Trevor?
I think that's a great shirt.
You don't think it's copyright infringee or anything like that? Like it's
appropriation, brother. I know my rules. You can get away with anything when it comes to clothing. It's all appropriation. There's no laws with that one, baby.
By the way, I will admit that so the t-shirt I'm wearing right now, it's a Trevor Outlaw t-shirt. I knocked it on the ground, so I felt obligated to buy it. But
that's not what really happened. Tell them how you begged me. You begged to pay double my rate. So
I did actually. And then I was like, "Can you please throw in a 8x10 as well?" And then you were like, "I'm such a nice guy. I care about your well-being. I'm going to throw in a mask too." So
I didn't say that I care about your well-being.
You did.
Don't lie to the people.
I mean, this is just my recollection.
You know what? I said, hey, do your civic duty in wearing this mask. But more so, and what's really more important about having this mask, aside from civic duty of safety with, all the regulations and whatnot, CDC, you can hire me for advertising later. It's to hide that ugly mug. I'm sorry, man, but I mean, that's a beautiful shirt, but it still doesn't make you look any better. I know I lied to you, but
so from here down, it's all right. From there up,
neck down, you are doing fine.
Fine, yeah.
Neck up, brother. We got to talk about that. Something about your face just makes me want to just give one of these right to you.
A punch. I do. I've been told that I have a punchable face. Like it's a thing, which I'm fine with. It remains mostly unpunched. My grandma, every time I see her, is kind of a dick, but I will
think your grandmother's a wonderful woman. Is she single?
She is. She's rich too.
Give her my number.
I will say that
tell grandma Rudy says what's up.
She looks like Angela Lansbury, if that's your thing.
Word?
Yeah, Grandma She Wrote. That's her name.
I like it. Grandma She Wrote. That's gonna be the sequel to my autobiography.
Grandma She Wrote.
Book one is, if you're reading this, you're a bozo, but thanks for the money.
Book 2 is Grandma She Wrote.
Yeah.
That is gonna be the best thing I hear in weeks. Trevor.
Forever, but
Well, I mean, we'll see. It's got a long ways to go. Trevor Outlaw, thank you so much for coming on the show. We look forward to seeing you, in the indies, eventually on our TVs, because you certainly,
it's inevitable, baby. It's inevitable.
I actually probably, like, I'll admit, and anyone listening, go see his matches, go watch his matches, buy his merch, because I do love this shirt. It is kind of awesome. So thank you so much again for coming on. It's been an enlightening conversation, to say the very least, even though you're, kind of a dick, but it's fine. Like, it's fine. You got to be you. So
you're trying to get those points back, and then you're trying to redeem yourself for your listeners. But
yeah,
brother, you're a lost cause, man. You're a lost cause.
This is why I keep getting fired from this podcast, like, over and over again.
You guys got to get somebody else. What's Whoopi Goldberg doing these days? She'd be a nice replacement for you. I like her work.
She was on the stand. That's all I got.
Is she canceled?
No, she's not. No, she was on the stand. The Stephen King adaptation.
Oh, dude, when you're saying the stand, I'm thinking like, oh, she's up for execution or she did something bad. I'm like,
I'll be honest,
like, on the witness
same
stand.
thing.
In this day and age, everybody's canceled. I don't know.
Right. She's enjoying her career. She's an EGOT winner. Why do I know so much about goddamn Whoopi Goldberg?
Because she's going to be your successor. She's a much more successful successor at that. But
I'd be okay.
And I bet she's a Sox fan.
She is a Sox, because I know my encyclopedic knowledge of Whoopi Goldberg. Yes, she is a Sox fan. Loves pancakes, though. Loves them.
I call bullshit on that. Nobody loves pancakes. Nobody loves pancakes. Everybody gets them as their side order at the restaurant because they're like, I don't want to be bad and get toast, so I'm going to get something that's even worse for me because I'm not going to eat it. And then people put their syrup on it. The first slice of a pancake, great. Anything after that, it's a soggy and a syrupy mess. It's literally just wheat drenched in syrup. And it's not good because it's soggy and gross. But you get a nice Belgian waffle, that bitch is staying crunchy. All right.
Yeah, I love pancakes.
It explains a lot.
Trevor, Mr. Outlaw, as it were, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure. We learned a lot. And please, again, even though you're kind of a dick, if you ever want to come back on the show, please do. We would love to have you back. That was amazing.
I'll have some screeners for you guys first, but
Understandable.
My rate's going up next time too.
Also, I mean, you've earned it at this point. Not before the episode, but after. Like now, you've earned it now. And your beard has earned it.
All right, everybody out there. This has been Trevor Outlaw on Sit Down Marks. We appreciate you. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
All right, joining us here today is one of the biggest independent wrestlers all over the United States, but she is very dear to our hearts here in the Midwest. If you don't know about Billie Starkz, you're going to know about her very soon. Joining us here for the very first time on the show, the Space Jesus herself, amongst many, many other nicknames that we'll get to later. But thank you, Billie Starkz. Welcome to the Sit Down Marks podcast here for the first time. Welcome.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for coming on.
So, excuse me. Sorry, I'm a little out of it today. We'll this will be cut, but yeah. Thank you for coming on. You've had such a busy year, not only month, but year. The first thing I want to ask you about, however, is you just had your own promotion that you just ran on December 5th. It was called Cosmic Christmas, and you did everything, right? You were the promoter, the booker, and it was all on, in celebration of your birthday. How did that go exactly?
It went really, really well. I never want to do it again, though. I will never do it again. It's so stressful.
So you didn't even get to have fun with it? It was just stress all the time?
I had fun the day of. Everything leading up to it was stressful because I was like, oh, I still need to get this person a ticket, because my friends would PayPal me and be like, oh, just remember to give me a ticket. And I was like, you act like I have a good memory. And then I had a lot of trouble. A lot of my friends were in Texas the day before, so I had to deal with trying to get them from Texas all the way to Louisville, and then drive them to Indiana for the show. And then I was like, oh, I'm tired of people hitting me up. Leave me alone. And my show has been booked in my mind since August. I'm not changing it.
Right. You had your promoter pants on a long time ago, didn't you? Putting this thing together.
I was done.
Did you get to take a nice break? Well, it's funny saying you get to take a nice break in the ring. You fought Effie that night, and you defeated Effie. So did you finally get to enjoy the 17th coming of Space Jesus and that moment when you were in the match?
I enjoyed my match so much. That was probably my favorite part of the night. And then my second favorite was being able to watch Ace Perry and Nick Wayne. That was one of my have to watch matches on my show, because I was the way I thought about it was we have this thing called Night 4 in the Midwest, and we say that Ace Perry is the original Night 4 guy. And then Nick Wayne's one of the newer kids, and he's starting to become this new Night 4 guy. So I was like, this will be a matchup I can't wait to see. And I just remember watching the finish, and I'm on the edge of my seat. I know what's supposed to happen, and I'm watching it. I'm oh. And I was like, this is it. I was so angry. I was like, come on, guys.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yes, was it really cool to be on that side of it? I bet once you got in the ring with Effie, it was all gravy by then, right? All the business has happened. It's just you and him in the ring, and you probably felt pretty comfortable by then. But yeah, what a big night that had to have been for you to be, on the promoter side.
Yeah, it was insane. It was also great when I finally did get to wrestle. I was like, Effie went out first, and I just hear the reaction the crowd gave him. I was like, oh no, I really hope my pop is bigger than this. This is my show. And then
and was it?
It was. I was very shocked, because I had that moment of, I really hope I do get booed on my birthday show. It'd be great.
Right.
Would want to get booed. It's my birthday, boo me.
Right.
Can't boo the Space Jesus. If nobody's if somebody's tuning in this for the first time, Billie, why do they call you Space Jesus? How would you put that in a nutshell for somebody that hasn't seen Billie Starkz wrestle?
So everybody has like their own idea of like how Space Jesus came along.
Sure.
But Space Jesus actually came from like an inside joke with me and some of my friends. Because this crazy dude, let's just start it there. Went to a Jimmy Jacobs seminar. I was not present for this, but my friends were, and I showed up late. And they all started talking about this. And I was like, what's going on? You got to fill me in. And they are like, this crazy dude showed up. He's wearing a leather jacket, a shirt, had wrist tape on, biker gloves, like whole, like match ready, basically. And this is like 3 or 4 hours before the show. And Jimmy Jacobs is doing a talking seminar, and he goes around and starts asking people questions. And he gets to this guy, and he's like, what's your gimmick? And the guy's like, oh, I'm a street fighter. He was like, that's not very like original. What makes you special? The guy's, well, I'm a street fighter. Jimmy was like, I don't know, dude. And the guy proceeds to take off his leather jacket, takes off his shirt, and what is revealed, he was like, yeah, this will explain it all of why I'm special. What is revealed is a tattoo of alien Jesus walking across water. And oh my God. And Jimmy Jacobs just goes, okay, and nods his head and keeps going down the line. Like that
reaction to it too. Like just okay, and then moving on.
Right. Which Jimmy's the zombie princess, right? You know what I mean? So that's kind of a similar name there. That's hilarious, man. What a good tale there about that. But yeah, another thing too is how would you explain your style in the ring? Like, what do you feel like your best attributes are, like as far as are you you think you're a brawler? Are you a little more of this or that, or
I'm definitely like very strike heavy, and I like dropping people on their heads, and then the only high flying move I have is a swanton. You won't see me jump off the ropes that often.
But you do a nice swanton. I was watching your match with Sky Blue, and I was like, that's like a fantastic swanton. So you do it very well, even though that's your only top rope maneuver.
I can do.
By the way, really quick,
they're so scary. I have videos of me hitting a 450, but I was like, this is terrifying.
I bet it would be. Yeah.
Not something you're going to put.
Flips are the reason why I would never consider being a wrestler. Doing flips. What did you say, AJ?
Because you don't want to flop on the ring doing a 450.
Yes, or on my head. Yeah.
My like biggest rule is over rotating and just like scorpion myself. I'm like, I'd rather just land on my back.
Yeah.
I'll take that all day. But I feel like if I just over rotate too much, I'm just gonna hit my face. And I was like, I can't. I'm gonna just pop up, and you're just gonna see my nose gushing.
Right.
With your feet like over your head, like what? That's horrifying. I'm never gonna do a 450, but I'm not a professional athlete either. Going back to the nicknames really quick, where did Blue Gremlin come from? Why Gremlin?
So I just got called a gremlin because I was always like a hot mess and did whatever I wanted. And I was also like the small child running around. So they started calling me a gremlin. And of course the blue hair. So it just became the Blue Gremlin at one point.
Well, that's funny too, because speaking of nicknames, the ones I have here are, I guess it's not really a nickname, but By Way of the Stars, the Mellow of the Big Starkz brand, Never Lost, Baby Draw, Space Jesus, Blue Gremlin. But the last time me and AJ was at a show, we called you Blue Tista because you took Jake Durden's jacket, put it on, and did the Batista machine gun, and we were front row dying laughing. So
yeah, we popped huge for that.
Yeah, thanks for awesome. Entertaining us. And I'm a big Jake Durden fan too, and he always like stand up and cheer him, and he always tells me to sit down, it is what it is. But
it's like every time you think you would learn after like the first 3 times, he's just gonna make you sit down, baby. Like that's always
every single time.
Yeah, it's never gonna be a different reaction. He's gonna be like, sit down. Right. So there's something else I wanted to ask you about. So some of the promotions you worked for, Black Label Pro, GSW, St. Louis Anarchy. You're the winner of the Tammy Joby Memorial Cup. You have wrestled 79 matches for 37 promotions, and not just in the Midwest. You know, you've been in New Jersey, Texas, all over the place.
Whoa. Slow down here.
Where do you find the time?
Yeah, right.
I know I talk fast when I'm.
No. I'm talking about her wrestling at all these promotions. That is getting after it. You know what I mean?
That's a lot.
I love it.
Where do you find the time to just, study for like a test or something like that? How do you balance all of this?
I actually have been dealing with that like this weekend. I literally take the ACT tomorrow at like 8 a.m.
Nice.
And then I have midterms this week. So I just finished my physics midterm and my math midterm today. And then I have to go do my Japanese midterm and IB literature midterm on Monday and Wednesday.
Your Japanese do you take Japanese?
Yeah, this is my third year of Japanese.
Well, you just made us all feel sorry for taking time out of your day to talk to us because, good God, you need to be doing.
You are probably
else.
losing brain cells talking to us. So definitely good luck with your test
break
tomorrow.
in the day to actually be able to talk to people and not just be zoned in on school or wrestling.
Nice. So what's your favorite thing, Billie, about being an independent wrestler? What do you love the most about it? Like, what draws you to it? What makes you want to wrestle that many times?
Definitely just like being in the ring and seeing people's reactions. Like, I just love physical activity. I love running the ropes, doing this, and I love having like the creativity aspect of wrestling where I can put anything together, and I have like some new crazy ideas that I need someone to come over and come to the BSB Performance Center so I can try out some of my ideas.
Yeah.
AJ
will take bumps for you. AJ will take bumps for you.
I'm small. I can take a bump. Can you give some hints about what those new ideas are, or would you rather keep those a little to yourself right now?
So some of it's just like some transitions to just get out of some moves that I regularly hit. So I want to do like a different transition into my head scissors tombstone that I usually do. So I had an idea for that. And then I wanted to do more stuff with like when people try to avoid the swanton instead of just eating crap all the time, maybe find a way to work around that.
Right. Yeah.
I get yelled at because I miss it so much. They're like, come on, you're back.
One other thing I want to say too, as we're talking about, if nobody's ever seen you wrestle before, every place I see Billie wrestle at, you're over. And, was that the plan to go in and just steal the hearts of everybody in the building and, and then leave them wanting more? Because I feel like, if I've seen you wrestle at a ton of places because, we go a lot of wrestling all over, especially in Midwest, United States, but, everywhere you get a big reception, when Blink 182 hits, everybody's like just totally into it, man. So was that the plan all along? You know what I mean? Or did that just kind of organically, people just loved Billie and they couldn't get enough of you? You know what I mean? Like, how did that happen for you so quickly?
It was always like my goal to like just get connections from people, and if it's like loving me or just wanting to see me die, I just want something
reaction
where people want to see me. And I just know that sounds like very like crazy and like all the attention on me, but that's what wrestling is. Like, all these wrestlers want you to be paying attention.
Definitely.
So I don't know if it's anything I did directly, but I feel like it just happened organically over time because I'm just who I am. I'm a crazy blue-haired kid.
How long has the blue hair been a thing? Like, because every time I've never seen you without the blue hair. Like, has it been since you started performing, or was it like, were you like, 10 years old and be like, I just want blue hair. That's what I want.
It actually was like when I first started wrestling, I had purple hair, and I changed it like a few times. I had a few different hair colors, and then I finally was at a Mania weekend with Shotzi Blackheart, And I was talking to her. We stayed in the same hotel. Oh my God, my bunny just fell. I'm sorry. I just saw
Get up,
the bunny
get up.
flop off my
You
bed.
can do it.
Sorry.
That's
No, it's fine.
I don't even remember what we were talking about now. I just want to know if he's okay.
He's good. He's moving. He just started grunting because he missed. But I was talking to Shotzi because we stayed at the same like Airbnb thing together, and we were hanging out. It was during the New Jersey and New York collective, and we were sitting there, and she was like talking to me about some stuff. She was like, "What's going to be your hair color?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "It's a marketing thing. Like they're going to remember you if you have this certain aspect. If you keep changing it, sometimes it looks like a whole different person." I was like, she's right. And blue is honestly my favorite color that I dyed my hair at the time. So I was like, I'm going to stick with the blue. So I've had it for like pretty much like a few months before that mania, and then I've had it since.
For me, I kind of feel like it ties in with the big Starkz brand too, with the blue and the black too. Like I kind of feel, but real quick, if nobody knows what the big Starkz brand is, kind of explain what that is and how it came about.
So the Big Starkz brand is a group of people that are all really close to me, or I think they're just phenomenal talent in wrestling. Yeah. And it's just slowly grown and grown way past my expectations. It started as just a joke to cheer me up during the quarantine. I was missing wrestling. I was like, oh my God, I just want to be around people.
Yeah.
And my dad is a big fan of Big Baller Brand, which is LeVar Ball and all of his children. And he said he was the LeVar Ball of wrestling, and I was the Mello. And if anybody messed with Mello, he's gonna do whatever.
Sure.
And
nice.
Someone in the comments was like, "Oh, Big Starkz brand," and we like joked around with it and made some T-shirts. And then everybody was like, "Oh, this is amazing!" And now it's at the point where it's at where AEW people are wearing the wristbands, knee sleeves, and I freaking Dante bought like a sweatshirt off the website, and I was like, dude, I'll just give you one. Why are you buying this?
Yeah.
And I saw something getting shipped to Minnesota. I was like, oh, who's getting something from Minnesota? And I saw Dante Martin. I was like, no.
Oh, that's cool. And then I seen Lee Moriarty wearing it just the other day. He was up on the rope squatting. I seen his knee pad. I was like, oh, another BSB, but that's really cool. And a nice little side venture for you and you guys there, to go with your wrestling, man. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Well, Primo, got anything for us? Got anything?
I do. Let's go. Let's kind of go outside the ring a little bit. Let's just get some of these funny questions in here. Let's start with do you play any games at all? I mean, obviously between all these tests and wrestling and everything else, do you have any time for games or anything fun like that?
So I don't get to play very often, but when I do, I love playing Call of Duty. I recently got into Splitgate. I find Splitgate super fun to play. It's like Portals mixed in with a little bit of first shooter.
Right.
And then I love Dead by Daylight, but I feel like every time I get on, it's always too late at night where no one's on. So I have to be in the queue for like 30 minutes. And I was like, you know what? Do I really want to play anymore?
Right. I understand that.
I've actually done that for Dead by Daylight where I've sat there because I also I work late at nights and I'll get home and I'm like, I just want to play something, and I'll sit in the queue and just sit there and read a book or something until finally a match pops up and I'm like, oh yay. I'm probably a bigger nerd though.
What was the first gaming system you ever played on?
Ooh, PlayStation 2.
Okay.
PlayStation 2 or 3.
Solid classic.
I think it was 2 because it was my dad's old one, and it was right before we got a PlayStation 3. And then we also had the really, really old Xbox. I don't remember.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. No, that's good. What's your favorite music?
I'm very all over the place with my music. So it really depends on my mood, but I do do like a lot of like indie pop,
Mm-hmm.
and then like very emo-esque music. Like I love Neck Deep and the Front Bottoms. I love Machine Gun Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like very
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's good to have variety. What kind of food do you like?
Oh, I like some spicy food, but I can't go past a certain level. Like if it doesn't taste good, and it's just hot, it's not good. But if it tastes good and has like that kick to it,
Right.
I love that. So I love like Takis. I love ramen noodles, Slim Jims, all the stuff that's not good for me.
You're
Oh, that's
Even-
Slim Jims are so good.
Wait, you guys eat Slim Jims? Those are like vile meat tubes. How do you eat Slim Jims?
Slim Jims, because you just
It's
dig it, dude.
Just the texture when you're chewing it, it's just there.
Yeah, I know.
Snap
I like
into
the,
it.
I like the
I think
snap.
you,
Yeah, I
you
like
people are crazy people, and I disagree with you.
I only get to eat them on like wrestling weekends because like the rest of the week I only have rice, chicken, and whatever vegetable. I either have asparagus, broccoli, or celery. And I'm like, I can't wait for the weekend.
Oh,
when I can have
yeah.
my Taco Bell and Slim
You can just
Jim.
eat trash.
Oh yeah, Taco Bell. That's what I'm talking about.
Trash food's the best. That's T-Bell. Don't get me started there. I love it. Anyway, what's the what I that's hey, in this the Primo household we call it T-Bell. Okay. Anyway, what's the we were talking about spicy just a second ago. What's the spiciest thing? I know you said it has to have flavor. So like the spiciest thing, like spicy wings, or what's the spiciest thing you've ever had?
I've had like the ramen from hell at like a ramen shop.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
It's actually like not bad. It actually tastes really good. But like my brother had it, so I like helped him eat that while also having my regular bowl, so it like balanced it out. But like there was a point where all you got was just a spoonful of like hot sauce, but it tasted like the chicken broth and it was still good. But I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be pooping myself later.
Right? Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah.
That's like part of the adventure that you guys.
Right? Yeah.
It's the whole experience.
You stay home the next couple days.
Here's a classic sit down Marks interview question that we haven't got to ask in a while. Pancakes or waffles?
Waffles. Waffles are so much better.
I'm never going to get a pancake person ever. Every single person that we've asked this to.
Everybody
Waffles.
likes the little pockets that hold syrup.
Yeah, that's telling you, man.
I don't even
It's
care
also
about that. It's just the texture. I like the waffles texture better.
I like
because
the
like
crunch
the pancakes
too.
are too flat for me. Even when they're like the fluffy, I feel like I'm eating cake and it's not good because it doesn't soak it up like enough syrup.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah,
I
for
don't
sure.
understand savages. Look at pancakes. I'm never gonna get a pancake.
That's another experience thing. All right, so if you at this point in your life, if you had a biography written about you, what would the title be?
Ooh, I really I kind of just want to steal like IWTV's like the life of, and then just do life of Space Jesus.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
I would buy a book called The Life of Space Jesus. Not gonna lie.
I would too. I would say, Billy. Speaking of Daniel Makabe,
like a
has been
movie.
on our show before, and we recently just watched his The Life of, and he had big things to say about you on that show, man. About you being the future of pro wrestling. I was like, wow, that's a pretty good nod there from Makabe. You had to be pretty happy with that comment, huh?
Yeah, I was actually very surprised because I always like pitch crazy ideas to him, and he'll look at me and he's like, "Don't do that."
Nice. Oh yeah, we love Daniel, man. He's such a cool dude.
Definitely.
How was the SCI Invitational really quick? Because you were down the SCI Invitational. That's redundant. It's like saying ATM machine. Anyways, how was it this year? Like we watched it all on TV and it seemed like a great time. How'd it go?
I loved the entire tournament. I was part of the Futures tournament, and it was a really, really great showcase of the upcoming talent. and I feel like you got so many different aspects of wrestling because it was also like whole different styles, and these people were like from all over. Like I'm of course in the Midwest area, and then they had people in Georgia and then Tennessee, and I think it was just a good showcase of all this talent that lives so far away from each other.
Yeah, we usually go to that tournament, so I'm looking forward to getting back to that one next year.
This year, that's when we sponsored Daniel's match, right?
We did. Yep.
So moving on here, we have so obviously all three of us sit down marks are pretty weird ourselves, but on a scale of like 1 to 10, what would you rate yourself as like weird or quirky?
A solid like 7 or like 7.5.
You're leaning towards 8, is what you're saying.
Right. Easy. All right. I'll do this last one here, and then I'll move it back to AJ. So what if any superhero in the world, who would you compare yourself to?
I thought you were going to ask me my favorite. My favorite's definitely Spider-Man.
Okay.
Relate
I have
myself
tickets
to
this Thursday.
I know. I'm so excited. I promised my boyfriend that I would go and see it with him, but then I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can wait.
Right. I feel you.
This one has so much hype, so yes, I'm looking forward to being
it's gonna have Tobey Maguire
It's
in
gonna
it.
be like the reveal of like all three of them together because there's so many like hints in the trailers where we're like, oh, it's gonna be here.
So Billy, who's your favorite Spider-Man then?
Oh, Tom Holland. I'm sorry. I'm like the newest generation, and I love this man.
I didn't mind any of them.
Honestly. I love all three of them for different reasons.
Yeah, same here.
Toby's my favorite just because when I saw the original Spider-Man,
and I think he's phenomenal. But I was like watching back like one of the older movies, and I feel like he gets lost in some of the scenes.
A little bit,
and like I feel like if he's brought in now as a Spider-Man, it would be like a whole different monster where he might overcome Tom Holland as my favorite Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Well, he'll be like old man Spider-Man.
I was saying he's a man now. He's an old man.
Yeah. He's like 45 or something like that. I feel bad for Andrew Garfield. He gets a bad rap. Like he's everyone's third favorite Spider-Man, but he did a pretty decent job.
He was bad either. It was just like these other two guys are just so phenomenal.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate you answering all these weird questions. I'm going to go ahead and throw it back to AJ back for some more wrestling stuff.
More wrestling stuff. You have a match coming up with Gary J. How are you preparing for that?
I don't have to prepare for that. I do my daily routine as always, and I feel like my preparation was last Mania, where I had a previous match with Gary, and I feel like I'm going in with a whole different mindset because I just won the Memorial Cup versus 2 Pillars of Anarchy already. Now I just got to knock down one more.
Yep.
So were you surprised when Gary J took the belt off of Jeremy Wyatt, who held it for like 19 years straight? Like, was that
yeah, right.
I was very shocked. I was watching the match at the merch table while it was going on. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. And I thought it was going to be over so many times just because Jeremy Wyatt is a prick. But Gary fought his way through it, and I thought it was a phenomenal match, and Gary's deserved it for such a long time.
Yeah, I agree. And there were so many Anarchy shows that I went to going home. Wyatt retained, like, and it felt like so many, man. So I'm looking forward to this. But a question, Billy, maybe you can answer this. Has there ever been a woman to win the Gateway Heritage Championship?
I'm not sure, actually. I don't believe so.
I don't think so either. If, I didn't, research or anything, but, just from my knowledge of watching Anarchy for quite a while. And, so this could be big. This match is January the 21st at Spalding Hall, correct? Or going back to the Spalding Hall. That right there is dope in itself, being able to go back there in Alton, Illinois. That is in East St. Louis. Billie Starkz versus Gary J at St. Louis Anarchy for the Gateway. Heritage title. I'm looking forward to that match as well. But good luck there, and come back and talk to us after you're the champ, okay?
Oh, say less.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Really
Go ahead.
quick question about the cow. Where did that come from, and why is it so awesome? Why do you come to the ring with a cow?
So I just genuinely have a love for cows. And like it's one of my favorite animals. And it would happen on like every road trip since I was like a very, very small child. We would drive past like the just nowhere Indiana and wherever else, and I would see cows and just scream, cows, brown cow, blah 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 blah. And that was every time we passed cows. And it just stuck with me, and I love just the whole idea. I want to own a baby cow so bad and like raise it as my own. And I see like TikToks all the time of people like treating like baby cows as dogs. I'm like, Mom, I'm gonna bring a cow home one day, and we're just gonna have a cow in the house.
I have a feeling like that's gonna happen.
Like you're gonna bring a baby.
Yep.
When the cow stopped being a baby, would you like trade it in for another baby cow, or would you like just keep raising?
No, I would just buy more. Like I told my mom multiple times, like if I ever like get signed and have too much money, I'm going to buy a farm. Right. And I was like, you can retire and just live on my farm. And she's like, no, that sounds like more work than my current job. I do not want to be in charge of all your farm animals while you're at wrestling. I was like, boo.
It is. She just probably right now, she just wants you to keep all your animals on your socks. Right?
What's with the animal socks too? That's kind of fun.
I just love fun socks. Like right now I'm wearing boring socks, and it was because my outfit was too much today. I wore like this super colorful jumper thing, and I was like, oh, this will be fun. So I was like, I have to dumb down the socks today because the colorful jumper was enough. I felt like I was like in a Young Gravy music video. That's what I feel like my outfit looked like.
Nice reference.
Oh, that's funny. Billy, I got some questions here for you. I want to answer here to kind of so we can kind of get to know you a little more here. So your idols, who made you want to wrestle?
So when I was growing up, I watched a lot of NXT. So who I like really, really enjoyed watching growing up was Finn Balor and Bayley, and that just whole generation. That was really what connected me with wrestling. And then I started watching independent wrestling, and I got really, really into ROH. So I was seeing like Kevin Steen, who's now known as Kevin Owens.
My guy.
Yeah, it was just like a whole bunch of people. And then like, of course, I fell in love with tag team wrestling. I love tag team wrestling so much. And I remember like the Young Bucks and Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish with Red Dragon. And I think tag team wrestling can be the most entertaining like matches. I went to AEW All Out, and I watched Pentagon Jr. and Ray Phoenix versus the Young Bucks, and it was like one of my favorite matches. I was like, I got to be a fan again and not a wrestler, because I got to like watch it and forget, like, I'm not watching this to study. I'm watching this to just be entertained.
That was in the cage?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
in the cage. Oh my gosh, that was insane.
It was so good.
Oh, nice.
So did you get a CM Punk t-shirt? Like the I was there shirt?
I did not. When I went up to the t-shirt stand, they were like sold out of almost everything.
Oh yeah.
I got like I was at All Out t-shirt with like the AEW and the All Out on the back.
Yeah. So you watch AEW? Do you watch WWE? Everything else that's on TV other than independent wrestling?
I try to watch as much wrestling as possible, but most of the time I'm like down to like just a few matches. And I love AEW because I can kind of like skip to what I want. And then WWE, like most of the time when I try to use Peacock, it makes me so angry because I don't know when things change. And I'm like, you know what? Am I in the mood? No, I'll just watch the highlights.
Yeah.
Or if like
I
some of my
kinda do the
friends
same
are
thing.
wrestling, I'll watch their matches. Like I love watching MSK. I've really been proud with like the women's division in NXT right now with Cora Jade, and everything that they're doing. I think it's great.
Nice. Give me 3 dream opponents right now. Anybody in wrestling? Who do you want to lock up with?
Millie McKenzie, number 1.
Okay.
2, Matt DeMorris. Even though this man is retired, I'm gonna make him come out of retirement to wrestle me.
Oh yeah, call him out.
And then 3, I really want to wrestle Hook. He just made his debut, and I was watching the video that like a fan posted on YouTube, and I was like, this man's fire. I need to get in the ring with him.
Yeah, well, they're by this time they have sent him by the time we heard this, but they're sending him out there, so we're gonna see a lot more of him here soon. What other promotions do you want to wrestle at that you haven't gotten to yet?
Are there any that you haven't wrestled
right,
for?
Yeah.
I have not got to wrestle for Beyond yet. I would love to be part of Beyond.
Sure.
And then also Defy. Defy is on the West Coast.
Yes.
And their shows are insane.
They are dope. I've been there
one.
personally. Yeah, me too. Yeah, they're so good. They're so good.
It was so entertaining. I got to like watch a few matches on the card because we came later on, and it was the night where they surprised the crowd with Moxley, and it was just insane to just see the reaction.
Oh, that is great. That is great. So what are the ultimate goals for Billie? You want to be the greatest wrestler of all time, or you just want to just continue doing what you're doing? Because I mean, obviously you're fantastic at it. So what does Billie want to do at the end? You got to get that cow farm, so you got to make some money, you know what I mean? So
my goal in wrestling is honestly just be the best performer that I can possibly be, and I just hope to still have fun with it. I never want to like lose my passion for wrestling. If wrestling ever becomes not fun, which I don't ever see it happening, I just want to keep it at like where I'm not losing my mind, but I'm also having a great time doing something I love.
Oh yeah, of course. Do you look forward to being heel one day?
Oh yes.
You know it, right?
You guys only know what's in store for you.
Nice. I love that you're excited about it already too. So that means you've been thinking about it.
My thing is like when I would do training matches, I've became like one of the older kids, so I have to like be the heel versus a lot of the younger kids. And my trainer's like, this is so much better. Why did we make you a baby face? People would hate you. And I was like, oh my God.
That's all right. Build them up and they're going to hate you even more later on down the road. So one of the last things I got here for you, I'll kick you back to AJ for a minute. Do you like wrestling better indoors or outdoors?
I honestly love it more indoors because every time I wrestle outside, it's either burning hot, freezing cold, or I get eaten alive by mosquitoes because I don't go outside very often. Yeah,
I don't blame you there. And then one other quick question here, and for me, I meant to tell you. So, why Blink-182? Why that song? Why does Billie like to come out to that?
I honestly used to come out to different theme music when I first started, and I was like, this isn't me. And I was looking for something that I actually like listening to, and I was like just going through it, and I was like, something that also works with my gimmick, and Blink-182, Aliens Exist popped up, and I was like, yeah, this is me, this fits with what I'm doing, this is what I want to come out to. So it kind of just like was, let me research different songs and see what I actually like.
Yeah, I like it. I watched you just a little bit ago. You were waiting by the curtain at Freelance to come out, and I guess sometimes I've heard that song so much I kind of forgot. I was like, oh yeah, the Blink song. I got to ask her about that.
So really quick before we start completely botching this, well, not you, before Primo and I start completely botching Cage Match. You were talking about, I just want to know really quick, who's your favorite band of all time?
Ooh.
It's so hard to pick one, ain't it?
I know, like I have like my top tier list, but I don't know if I could put them in any order. I'm going to give it to Weezer because that's just what I grew up on, and that was like my mom's favorite band growing up. So that's always been like that was my first ever concerts, and it will always have like a special place in my heart.
Interesting. That's a good answer. I like Weezer too. Okay, so with that being said, that was a terrible transition. There's no transition. Speaking of Weezer, we're gonna play cage match now, and of course, DB
shoot
is going to send us some wrestlers, and we are going to. I'm awesome at kayfabe. Are going to give you some clues. See if you can guess them. And like I said, we did this the other day and we were really bad at it. So hopefully we don't mess it up and you're better at it than we are because we are not good.
No. Basically what we got here is 10 wrestlers. I'm going to send to each one of these guys. AJ is going against Primo. Whoever can get Billy to guess these 10 wrestlers the quickest will win today's game. But the only thing about it is they can only use one word at a time to make Billy guess who that wrestler is. So it's a lot of newer wrestlers mixed in with a few guys from back in the old days. So AJ, Primo, which one of you guys want to go first here?
Go ahead, AJ.
Damn it.
All right.
Okay, me, I guess me.
AJ is going to go first here. Let me
I'm
send
so
these.
bad at this.
I gotta let you set the bar for me.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I might be like the worst guesser of all time.
So don't worry, it'll be
It's
be
okay.
good then because I'm the worst hint giver at all.
When you get one correct, you should hear this sound right here. And then we'll move on to the next one.
This is right.
Yep.
All
right. All right, you guys are ready?
Yes.
All right, AJ, here we go. I'm gonna send them over to you. There is your wrestlers, and whenever you're ready, Billy, you ready?
I'm ready.
Billy? All right, here we go, and go.
619.
Stone Cold. Oh, I'm tired. Rey Mysterio.
There we go.
There we go. Scarf.
Garf? What?
Say it again louder.
Scarf.
Scarf. MJF.
Correct.
Cosmic Christmas, which is 2 words, but we're gonna go with it.
Me, Billie Starkz.
Knee pads.
What?
Team Taz. There we go.
Oh, Dante.
Correct.
Heritage.
Gary J.
Correct.
Brother.
Hulk Hogan.
Correct.
Glamazon.
Megan.
Edge.
No.
See, this is why I'm bad. I don't even know any more clues. Bird.
Glamazon. Edge. Wife.
Oh yeah, wife.
Wait. I know her name. Why is my head hurting? I see her face.
NXT.
Wait, she's on.
Oh
NXT.
my god.
Give it to her, AJ. We're going to the next
one.
Beth Phoenix would be that one.
Yep.
Yes. Oh my god, I feel so bad.
It's all right.
Up next, figure 8.
Ric Flair.
Figure 8.
Charlotte Flair.
Yes. Correct.
Swiss.
Cesaro.
Superman.
Correct.
Oh shit, we just talked about her. Influence.
Sky Blue.
Hugger.
Oh, Bailey.
Wacky waving
Correct.
inflatable arm tube man.
All right, last
And then
one.
the last one is smell.
What?
Cooking.
Who'd you say?
Red Velvet.
People.
Electrifying.
Eyebrow.
Movie star.
Oh,
Jumanji.
Rock. Yes, Rock.
my
Brum
kids
Bull.
were smelling and cooking. and
Yeah. I agree.
You know what?
Yeah,
This
that was a horrible delivery.
But it's smelly.
Don't feel bad. I'm about to tank real bad.
All right.
There's no way you can. Do
I
worse
wouldn't
than
have
smelly.
known to give hints for half of those wrestlers.
All right. 3.5 minutes is the time you got to beat here, Primo.
Oh my god, that was atrocious,
All
Billy.
right.
I'm so sorry.
All right.
Okay.
3.5 minutes. All right. Here we go, Primo.
All right, you sending? Okay.
All right. Fire away. Go.
You better.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Yeah.
Cleaner.
Freaking. Oh my god. I know who this is. My brain. V trigger. I know. Freaking.
Yeah, she knows who it is.
Yeah, you got it.
Kenny Omega. Oh my god.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, correct.
Fiend.
Bray Wyatt.
Correct.
Beast.
Ryback.
Oh, nice guess, but not it.
Bigger beast.
Who's bigger than Ryback?
UFC.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Goldie.
Goldberg.
No. This is terrible. That was a terrible one. What was
smelling.
What was
It works every time.
Blackheart. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Vince.
It's one half of DIY.
There you go.
Oh, Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
It was way more than one word.
Yeah, I know.
What
E-
is it? Goldie?
Yeah, because that's what he calls the championship. EST.
No idea.
That's a good one.
I'm on my own.
Yeah.
Against the wall.
Braid. Yeah.
Braid.
Long braid.
Super
Long braid.
Rhymes with Sri Lanka.
I was just thinking Davey Vega when you say braid, and my head is
Oh
just
yeah, no, it ain't Davey. No, Davey.
No.
We'll give it to her and let go. Let's go.
It's okay. Next up we
Bianca.
have
It's Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair.
my
okay.
bad.
That's okay.
Next wrestler, hint, Snoop Dogg. Okay.
Come out to Snoop Dogg.
No.
Boss.
Actually, kind of. Boss. Yep.
Oh, Sasha Banks.
Mm-hmm.
I wish you would come out to Snoop Dogg. That'd be awesome.
Is she Australian?
Maybe.
Oh my God. Brutality.
Carly Evans.
Brutality.
Brutality. Tony Storm.
Ooh, so close.
Very close. Not
That's what I
many
was
hints for that
thinking
one.
too.
Yeah,
No, I couldn't think of any.
Yeah.
All black leather.
Yeah.
Oh, she stomps her boot down.
Yes.
I know who it is.
Yes.
Rhea Ripley.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There you go. All right.
Oh my god.
Strong style. Is that one word too?
This will be this one.
I think it's hyphenated.
Yeah.
Hyphenates count.
I know her. I know who it is. I just don't remember names. I suck.
Rick Boogs.
Yeah. He's with Rick Boobs.
Yeah.
Violin.
New Japan.
It was New Japan,
Yeah.
Oh, Nakamura?
Yes. There you go.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Very good. Yep.
2 belts. Next one. That's the hint. 2 belts.
I want to say Roman Reigns, but it's not.
The Irish last kicker.
Goodness.
Last kicker.
Oh, Becky Lynch.
Correct. Last one.
The hint I just came up with, I can't say.
Go on, Primo. Go on.
Well, I was just gonna say because it's more than one word.
You sang a song for one of the hints.
It's true. I was gonna say no longer Jamaican.
Kofi?
Yes. Well, AJ won by about a minute, so
How is that
AJ
even
is the
possible?
winner of Cage Match today.
Oh my gosh! Thanks for being a good sport. Billy.
Thanks for being a good sport and playing along with us on that.
No longer.
Ruined your chances.
Yeah, it's all right. We kind of do it for the debauchery, so I mean, it's it's kind of like why we do it. So
I think we all fail at that game.
We definitely would.
Every single one of us, even
Billy,
you. When
Billy,
we've playing.
It's been a big pleasure having you on the show here today. We don't know what your Christmas plans are, but we hope they are absolutely great and phenomenal. Wish your family all the best. Is there anywhere that you know of right now that you're going to be after the first of the year?
Ooh, I don't think anything else is announced yet. I will be part. So I was like, I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
Allowed to say, right? Yeah, I thought about that. Yeah. So just know that you'll be everywhere, I guess, right?
Definitely. That January 1st weekend, I will be with GCW and the New Year's show, so I'll definitely be up there. I don't know if I'll be wrestling, but you'll see me if you're in the area.
Oh God, you're not going to do a death match, are you?
Sauce, red is green.
Wow. Oh man, I don't even want to talk about that. But we had a blast having you on the show today. Plug your socials, tell everybody where you are, where they can get that Big Starkz brand merch, all that good stuff.
If you want to check out some of my merchandise and grab a Big Starkz brand t-shirt, it's all at bigstarkzbrand.com. It's also linked to my Twitter bio, and all of my social media is at Billie Starkz, BILLIE, and then Starkz is STARKZ.
Boys, anything you got here for Billy before we say bye?
Just thank you. And you're wrong about waffles. One of these days, I will get someone on my pancake team. Hasn't happened yet, but I don't understand.
The new day is about all you have.
To actually rebuttal that, thank you for coming on, and you are correct about waffles. And yeah, just have a good Merry Christmas, and once again, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you guys so much for having me, and I hope you all have a great holidays and everybody listening. But I want to ask one question before I leave, because you guys all got to ask me questions.
Okay.
So reverse card. Favorite movie?
Oh, okay. That's easy for me.
DB, you go first.
Mine is Hoosiers. I've always loved basketball. Was like my first love. So Hoosiers has always been my favorite movie of all time. Yeah.
Primo.
What do you got, boys?
Oh, I have so many, but for, one of my top favorite movies is there's two I was gonna say, but we'll go with Law Abiding Citizen.
Law Abiding Citizen. So I'm a weirdo. My favorite movie of all time. I don't even recommend it. It's called Magnolia by P.P. Anderson. It's so weird.
We don't recommend
it. Really, don't watch it. It's so
I don't
strange,
recommend
but
it.
it's like the best movie ever. I love it. That or Gangs of New York. I love Gangs of New York.
This is gonna be like my new routine, just asking at the end of podcasts.
Yeah,
that's great.
Like different shows and movies. So I have a watch list when I'm on the road, so I can make fun of your guys' choices.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you go.
But
Yeah.
For sure.
be entertained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time you come on, you can call us out. So tell us what movie is your favorite, so we can watch and
make fun of
equally
you.
make fun of you.
Oh, easily. Mine is Heather's, and I get made fun of all the time by it because
I don't
it's
even know
like,
what that is, but I'm watching.
oh,
That's
it's
actually,
the movie
a
from,
really good
like,
pick.
oh, it's great. My boyfriend thought I was crazy when he watched it for the first time. He's like, "Why is this your favorite movie? They're trying to
it
blow
is-
up a school."
Yeah,
Oh,
there
Lord.
are some teenage murderers in
Yes.
that. It is a good movie though.
Hey, to each their own, I guess, huh? I mean, so I'll check it out. So we'll all reconvene here later on down the road. But thank you, Billie, for being on the show today. We really appreciate it. Go check out Billie Starkz. She's all over the independent scene in the Midwest. Look out for this girl being all over the United States. If you don't know about her, you will hear very, very soon. She's taken over already, and I think 2022 is going to be an even bigger year for Billie Starkz. So for Primo and AJ, I am the Dirty Bird, and that's going to do it here for this interview today with Billie. Billie, say bye to the masses.
Bye. Have a great day, you guys.
All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in up to this point. Just once again, that was Daniel Makabe, Trevor Outlaw, and Billie Starkz. We can't thank them enough for being on the show and can't wait for them to be back. Next time when we are back here live, we will be back with the July 11th, 1999 Sunday Night Heat, where The Rock gives his promo on Billy Gunn. We also are bringing back our promotional drafts, where we each will draft our managers and valets and potentially GMs as well. Music class will return, where I will take AJ and DB to music class. So catch us all there next week. Grab dem cakes.